Okay, now I have my different setup. I'm not on my laptop. Let's just do this. Hit my music, just do it like this. Okay, just to make it somewhat authentic. So I just want to get on here real quick. It is about, I don't know, what is it? What is it, about 12:15 at night? And I'm just gonna put this video out and let my man do his thing. So forgive me if I'm all over the place here, because we literally need to talk about yeah. So basically, I was thinking about doing a video of this, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want to get into specific stats, but here's the thing we want to talk about. So guys, if you, I mean, I don't like offending a whole lot of people, and I really don't, because I'm like one of those people that I try to get along with people. I try to be positive, even though I'll have a lot of my friends get on my case about my anxiety of not wanting to go out and meet new people because of my past, that I can't go out and break anymore because I'm gonna turn and tease 50. But the fact of the matter is, guys, we are going to have probably the biggest World Series in history. Now, it's going to be the Dodgers versus the Yankees. Dodgers finished it. As I speak right now, Dodgers finished the Mets off 10-5, Game 6. And quite honestly, this was due. This was bound to happen. This is probably what all baseball writers, baseball enthusiasts, historians, and media critics want, need, lust for, and they got it. You're going to get Aaron Judge versus Ohtani. You're going to get New York versus LA. You're going to get the second biggest payroll versus the fifth biggest payroll. You're going to get the two biggest TV deals in Major League Baseball. You are not going to get Texas versus Arizona. You're not going to get Detroit. You're not going to get, unfortunately not going to get Cleveland, and they were 23rd in payroll. Basically, let's just put it this way. The Yankees took out Kansas City. And I'm going to say this off the top, just as a little bit of perspective. I don't care that the Yankees took out the Royals, even though the Royals had 100 plus losses last year. They turned it around. But I believe they lost to the Yankees in 4, I think. And, Detroit played well in the second half of the season. They snuck in and got a playoff over Seattle and Minnesota. But the Dodgers, they were trying to get over this hump of, yeah, we won a World Series in 2020, but that was the pandemic, and they won it in Texas where there was the bubble, and they beat Tampa for it. So at the same time, the Dodgers have a lot to prove, and they need to get back into this point. They've lost to Houston, they've lost to Boston in World Series. Now they're back. Why? Because they spent money. They're also very well run. The Dodgers, a lot of their people are, in fact, through their farm system. But yes, they had the income to go get a Mookie Betts, a Freddie Freeman, and a couple others. They went and got Tyler Glasnow in a trade. They signed Yamamoto, even though he got hurt. He may be back for the World Series. But the biggest thing was they were willing to basically go out and understand wholeheartedly that Shohei Ohtani did not want to go anywhere else. Though Seattle was teasing it really well, he didn't want to leave LA. But he knew Anaheim wasn't going to do it. And he was there for 5-6 years, I believe. And they couldn't even get it done even with Mike Trout. So he chose to stay in LA, and he's going to take the max deal. And that was over $1 billion. Yamamoto and Glasnow. And you get a Mookie Betts, a Freeman, and a handful of others that are basically pretty much jacking the payroll. However, LA's pitching has been hit and miss because they've been hurt. So, and a lot of position players have been hurt. And they're inserting people into positions that they don't even play. And they're killing it. And I don't want to say it's pissing people off, They just happen to be hitting at the right time and getting very fortunate with where they're hitting and situational pitching and all that. And Kershaw is still on that roster as well. Freddie Freeman did not play tonight. However, LA is winning games that they need to win, and Ohtani has been a big part of it, and a handful of others. And let's just be real. The Mets have been one of those teams where they played well in the second half of the year, got to where they needed to be, and then go figure, the Dodgers once again had to go and take care of the little sister called the San Diego Padres, what I picked to win the World Series, and unfortunately that didn't happen because the Padres are a small market and they didn't get it done because the Dodgers gave them a big FU. Speaking of which, the Yankees, after they lost that unbelievable comeback by Cleveland, I'm not used to saying the Guardians, the Cleveland Guardians in Game 3 with those 2 homers, they just basically came back and played hard in Game 4 and Game 5 and put them away. Because Giancarlo Stanton couldn't hardly do anything all year, and now he's one of the most clutch home run hitters in postseason history. Juan Soto did get into the mix, and probably and 9 chances out of 10 Yankees are probably going to re-sign him to the biggest deal, probably bigger than Ohtani's, because the Yankees have the money. They always have and always will. And Aaron Judge, nobody can argue about Aaron Judge because he came through the Yankees farm system. Sorry, he came through the farm system of the Yankees. What are you going to say? Well, the Yankees get spoiled because they have all that money. Well, Aaron Judge came from the farm system. You can't say anything about that. So, but the Yankees pitching's been on and off, but of course Pittsburgh people don't want to see Garrett Cole win a ring, but he already did in Houston. So here you have the 2 biggest iconic baseball teams in probably the modern era, or probably in all of history. Sure, the Red Sox are there, the White Sox are there, the Pirates are there, the Cardinals are there, but it's New York and Brooklyn, it's New York and LA. The last time we had a New York-LA championship of anything was in the Stanley Cup a handful of years ago when it was the Rangers and the Kings. So, with that being said, the New York Liberty of the WNBA just won a WNBA title for the first time. So it's rising. I also will bring this up because I know I have a lot of New York Yankee fans, a bunch of friends that are Yankee fans, and they are seething to get a World Series, to get their 28th, because they haven't won one since 2009. Well, when you're a top 5 payroll, and yes, I'm going to quote the great Zach Huey from Attic Talks. I'll find him from Spotify. When he says, and I quote, coming from a Pirates fan. Well, that's not even just that. It's coming from a small market baseball person. Small market teams cannot stand the actual fact that the Yankees and the Dodgers are in the World Series, and they're the 2 best teams. Last year, you had Texas and Arizona. Texas ended up winning in 5. It was a low-rated World Series, even though Texas was like 9th or 10th in payroll. But Dallas-Arlington has a World Series, so they can add that to the Super Bowls and to the NBA titles and 1 Stanley Cup. So the thing is, LA is a Dodger town. Always has been. The Rams and the Chargers cannot figure out an identity of who wants to own the NFL, and the Chargers shouldn't even be in LA to begin with because they have an idiotic owner. LeBron is not going to win another title for the Lakers. The Clippers have a new building, and it started out rough, but it's not bad looking. The 2 soccer teams are still good. The Kings still playing Staples / crypto, whatever it is, and the Kings are actually not off to a bad start, and they rebranded and went back to their old logo. It's a USC town. USC is hit miss right now. UCLA is not good. Welcome to the Big Ten. So right now, it's a Dodger town, but it's still LA. There's a ton of things to do. If you're not a sports fan, there's 1,000 other things to do. But if you're a Dodger fan, you got a legendary ballpark on Chavez Ravine. it will always be a Dodger town. It will always be a Dodger area. And LA hasn't had a World Series since 2000, but they would like to win a World Series in front of people. When they did it in 2000, they won it in front of nobody in Texas in the bubble against the Rays. So in a way, LA has their own fit. Now, coming from a Pirates fan, coming from a small market, and all the small markets looking up to the Yankees, because trust me when I say small markets cannot stand the Yankees because they're the Yankees. You haven't won a title since 2009. You've been hit and miss back and forth. You didn't even make the playoffs last year. And now you finally, you get past Kansas City, which particularly off the side here, kind of wanted the Yankees to beat the Royals because there was a clip where Patrick Mahomes was yapping in front of a Yankee fan in a luxury box. And Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs haven't lost a game yet. So with that, then the Yankees had to face Cleveland, which they were the two top teams in the American League. They both had first-round byes, and the Yankees knocked them down in 5. There's a lot of teams that kind of wanted that, the underdog feel. Cleveland winning Game 5 the way they did, down 5-2, 5-3, hit a home run a home run by Noel, and then the game winner walk off in the 10th inning by Fry. The whole state of Ohio heard it. It's all over Instagram, and that meant nothing to the Yankees because they beat them in the next 2 games. I have a ton of friends who are Yankee fans, and they can't wait for this thing, and they're going to have home field because the American League won the All-Star game, which I think is the most ridiculous thing, period, ever. But thus it is what it is. This will be the biggest drawing World Series in history. Because it's either pick your poison if you're a small market. You want the Dodgers to win because they just have the money and they just show up because they know they are the Dodgers, they are the Lakers, the most glamorous franchise, but they're also one of the most best run. Shohei Ohtani leaves the Angels and signs that max multi 10-year some deal to go play for the Dodgers, and he may win a ring in his first year there, and he's going to be there another 10, 12 years. Do you want to see that happen? Or do you really want to see that 3-headed hydro in Stanton, Soto, and Aaron Judge win another World Series? Well, they'll win their first, but Soto's already got one in Washington. But there's that whole critic thing of nobody wants to see the Yankees win the World Series. They've won enough. But nobody wants to see the Dodgers win because they just find ways to win, and they always do. That just that luxurious. Dave Roberts is a great manager. They are well run. And Brian Cashman is the GM of the Yankees, and he's been there forever. But the Steinbrenners are God in the Bronx for the Yankees organization. I'm not going to be watching the World Series. Don't want to. But if I had to pick right now, critics want to see this go 7. You want to draw all that money. They want every single dime, nickel, and penny and dollar bill vacuum out of everybody's pocket. They want to see this series go 7. So I don't know what else to tell you on a certain thing, because people in the comments will be like, go Yankees, go Dodgers, and why am I even putting a word in if I don't like either teams? I really don't even care, because we're going to get the biggest drawing World Series probably in this modern era, probably in this era, this day and age. They didn't face off since what, 77, 78 or something, when Reggie Jackson became Mr. October. It's the last time the Yankees and Dodgers face each other in the World Series. It was one of those years, and we're going to see it again. And it took over 50 years to happen, or just barely 50 years. But guys, I don't know what to tell you on this. If I really had it my way, I would pick the Dodgers in 7, but I don't know if it's going to happen because we're going to hear every single godforsaken Yankee fan finally say, why are you complaining about? We haven't won since '09. The Dodgers just won one. Yeah, they won one, but they didn't win it in front of people. They won it in front of nobody in the bubble. So people are like, well, we want to finally see Aaron Judge win a ring. We don't, Ohtani's going to be there forever. The Dodgers going to be back next year. How do you know that? Maybe San Diego knocks him off next year. Maybe Arizona, who was actually in that run in the playoffs, Arizona knocked them off in 3 last year. The Dodgers are hit and miss, and the Yankees started off rough, and then they just had one of their best second halves of their history. Both teams' pitching is going to be hit and miss, unless Garrett Cole, Mr. Ex-Pirate, 350, 450 million. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm cutting the video short because I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be probably one of the biggest championship series, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer, probably one of the biggest, and sports critics all over the world are going to eat this up. This is probably the biggest buffet table, and they're never going to leave. So take it as you will. This is what sports have done. And trust me, another quick thing before I sign off is sports, and I don't like to say it, but it is a fact. Sports are better. Sports are better when the big markets are good. Whether you have a face or whether you have a villain. Can't really say if the Yankees are the villain. You can't even say the Dodgers are. They may both be villains, but to have both of them face each other is a WrestleMania main event. But when the Yankees are good, everything is up. When New York sports are good, everything is up. Both football teams are sus. Both baseball teams were in the playoffs. You could have had another Subway Series. The Knicks are good. Brooklyn's on a rebuild. The Rangers are really good. The Islanders are hit and miss. And both soccer teams are good. It's New York. And it's LA. We're going to find out once and for all. Cash may be king, but where does the money lie? Or as Hollywood Hogan would say, this is where the power lies. Who has it the most? Like and subscribe. I'll see you all when I see you.